That's right. We're playing this because Notre Dame sucks.
Yes.
Notre Dame
100%.
straight sucks. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be 2 times that we will play this particular song. So we played that. By the way, welcome to Technically Speaking. It is Wednesday, 8 p.m. We are just, I was going to say malcontent. I sensed some college football propaganda. Not propaganda, nothing but facts. We're bringing straight, cold, hard facts. Notre Dame sucks. 2 times this year, we're going to play that song before a live show. The Wednesday before the Saturday game. It would be this Saturday, obviously. Notre Dame sucks. And we're going to continue to play that. We're also going to talk about that song, and we will be overwhelmingly giant D-backs.
I was just going to say homers.
I was going to say assholes. We're going to be giant a-holes when it comes time that we are going to play that team up north. But that is for another Wednesday in November. Welcome to Technically Speaking Live. I just fumbled over my words. It is 8 p.m. on the East Coast. We are just a few days away
from the best, third best day of the college football season, which is
a lot of days.
The week 1 for the Power 5 schools.
We are going Ohio State versus
the world.
Notre Dame.
Except they pronounce it Notre
Dame. Ohio State, as far as I know, Ohio State is still 17.5-point favorites.
Checking
now. It may have gone to 18. I'm going to tell you right now, live, on air right now, I believe Ohio State at halftime will not be covering the spread. By the end of the game, they will obliterate the spread.
Yeah, I have them definitely covering the spread by the end of the game.
That's what I think right now. That's what I think is going to happen. Pixelated, no raining men tonight.
Dropped. It's back down to 17.
17? Okay. Well, I will take Ohio State and 17. So,
yep.
Anybody want to make that bet? If you are a Notre Dame fan, hit me up on Twitter, at Scott Peachy on Twitter, and I will gladly take the bet. Faux show. I will be pissing off some Catholics tonight, evidently.
It happens.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Return of the Kings. We have returned. What's good, everybody? Shelly, you are promised craziness. You're looking at it. It's right here. Nothing but craziness.
Bonkers.
I understand Ohio State is a 46-point favorite. So it's funny that you mentioned that. I'll bet you anything Ohio State will be worth like Arkansas State like the week after that.
Next week.
It's going to probably be 38.5.
I was going to say
39.
Every bit of 35.
So it's going to be
5 touchdowns.
It'll probably be that. So welcome, Shark FinTech. We're going to talk about Pixel 7. We're going to talk about the Pixel Watch. We're going to talk about Apple evidently not going to have the notch. They're going to the eye, the sideways eye. I don't know if you know what to call. What do you call that? Sideways eye. We're going to talk about profound shower thoughts, the absolute hardest answers to would you rather that you've ever heard, and obviously I've been going down a rabbit hole of TikTok.
As everyone does.
Rabbit hole of TikTok. So it's so bad on the rabbit hole of TikTok that I'm watching TikToks on YouTube. That's how bad it is. I'm now watching.
I mean, that's how all of us who actually don't have a TikTok account watch TikToks.
I mean, I have a TikTok account, but I'm not going to make content. Contrary to what Miss Kathleen wants me to do, I'm not going to do it. But I have been binge watching Gordon Ramsay reactions
to other people cooking
on TikTok, but on YouTube. Yeah, that's how it is. The Pixel device I have had since June. Have not had a Pixel 7 since June. And I'm going to follow that up with, I don't have a Pixel 7. I don't have a Pixel 7.
None of the people
None
listening.
of you believe me. I don't have a Pixel 7. But I have, God. I had this premonition the other day about the Pixel 7. I really did.
Oh, great.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
What was your premonition?
Wouldn't it be amazing if they brought something back that was just phenomenal from a previous Pixel that was kind of like meh, but as soon as it was gone, everybody freaked out. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be something?
I think it would depend on what that amazing is.
I agree with
whether
you.
That's,
but wouldn't it be something if
they brought back Allo, I would absolutely.
Well, they kind of did with
my
text
shit.
messages. Like they would kind of. I mean, that is the truth, though. Like they kind of would.
Still, far and away, my favorite Google messaging service of all time.
What?
Allo. Yes.
Fun story. True story. I was going through that Pixel.
You were the reason they killed Allo? That's
no, not the reason. I had our voice recordings. The conversations between me, you, and Greg.
Oh, I still have some in Hangouts too.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Hard to listen to, but
Genosis,
nice.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say any of that stuff. I said none of those things. I didn't say any of that. I didn't say.
Ooh, I like Jason C's comment. If I could get Squeeze for assistant back on a top the line on the 6 Pro, boy.
I'm gonna tell you what. I don't care what anybody said about that Squeeze feature.
It was amazing.
I don't care what anybody says. That was freaking amazing.
I loved it.
I freaking loved
the Squeeze, and then the
unbelievable.
The double tap, the power button to get the camera.
You still get that.
I know, but those two functions were amazing.
All I'm saying is if there was some sort of feature like that of like a long lost Pixel, I just think it'd be freaking amazing. I mean, unbelievable. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't have it. I do not have the phone. This is just complete conjecture. All I'm saying is, wouldn't it be amazing? Just throwing it out there. That's all I'm gonna say. Pixel 7, rumored. I don't know what the price is rumored on the Pixel 7. I gotta say, I think it's got to come in very similar to what they priced it last year.
Yeah,
gotta be. I mean, you see everything. Like it's been in. Unbox Therapy showed it basically in all in its glory. It really doesn't look too different than the Pixel 6 Pro.
Yeah. We've seen that, they're
Levi and Hero. I don't have it.
They're working on incremental improvements like they always do.
Well, I mean, the idea is like, again, they use the same camera lenses for like 5 years. It was crazy. Look, I know everybody is calling me a liar in the comments. I'm sure that it's out there. I'm telling you all the truth. I do not have it. God's honest truth.
I mean, y'all know I don't lie on this channel. I'm the truthful one here, the honest one, the quiet one. I have not seen him with the 7. And I'm usually the second or third person that he tells when he gets a new phone. So he might actually be telling the truth this time.
First of all, I don't tell him anything. Don't let him play. Don't let him play. Pixelate, it's going to be tough switch from a 6 Pro to a 7 Pro if the price point isn't on point and the upgrade is incremental. Absolutely understand. JK, love you too, Levi and Hero.
Yeah, they're one of our least favorite guides of the male variety online. Is saying it should be around the same price as the 6 line.
You must be talking about Tom's Guide.
I am. So the regular 7 should
I'm
come
not
in,
a fan of Tom's Guide.
I'm
sure they're great people.
600
I just don't like their articles. Look,
the 7 Pro should come in around 900 or 950.
All I'm saying is, like, look, Tom's Guide, they're very successful in terms of they run a successful website. I don't agree with them most of the time. I'm sure the people are very nice. I just don't agree with them most of the time. It's okay. Much like I was talking to somebody earlier, and I'm not putting T on blast or anything like that. T made the comment on Twitter earlier this morning that said, basically calling people out like myself, that's going to make fun of Apple or rag on Apple for something, even though it's really just for the views at that point. And while I don't get any views or anything like that, because I don't make edited content anymore, I'm still going to rag on Apple. But here's the problem. I rag on Apple, and I still buy their shit.
Like, constantly.
All the time. That's what I do. I have an iPhone. Got it.
Keep going.
What are you doing?
My parents say that...
You're blurry?
Well, no. It's on their screen, all of the comments are covering my face. So
Well, I
don't know how to fix
I don't know how to fix that on the fly. Don't know how to fix it on the fly. I have an iPhone. I have
We're
an
using
iPad.
it.
Yeah, it's actually the camera that he's currently on. I have an iPad Pro. Okay. I actually have multiple iPad Pros, but older, like Gen 1, Gen 2. So fairly old. MacBook Pro right now. I use my MacBook Pro for work. Kathleen, I'm not making a TikTok. It's not going to happen. What am I going to do with a TikTok? Do you know how stupid I would look on a TikTok? Like, I'm going to do a dance.
Wait. I can't let that go. As opposed to everything else you do on
I'm
social media.
openly glad. I'm happy to be stupid on YouTube, but like, there's a whole other level of dumb on TikTok. Like, I can't do the transitions and the cool things that they all do on TikTok. I'm just not coordinated enough for that. I mean, come on, T, come on, man. I was giving you credit. I said, I'm not ragging on you or anything like that. I said, you're lurking. I was saying, I was calling myself out how much bullshit I'm going to say about Apple, and I'm calling myself out. Like, I buy their stuff, but I'm still going to rag on Apple just because I'm a big D-bag. That's the thing. Like, I'm just calling myself out. It is what it is. Like, no one said you have to dance. Going back to the TikTok thing, I know, but I struggle with TikTok because, like, I look out there and there are people on TikTok that make things that are just overwhelmingly amazing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We're just not that creative anymore.
I
was never that creative.
You were never that creative.
No, I really wasn't. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm a behind the scenes. I'm a producer. I help people. I fund things.
And let's not get it twisted. When he says I'm a producer, he shows up 53 minutes before the show after everything's set up, like, all right, cool. What are we going to talk about today? I don't know. You're the producer.
And I came with the notes and got everything ready to go from a talking standpoint. And don't let him get it twisted. We left everything set up when we left last week. So there was very little to set up other than the table.
That's a lie. That is a lie. And don't you let him even lie to your face. Lie to your face. So, okay, I'm going to go back to the comments. Not going to make a TikTok. Tom's guides are wonderful headlines. They're trash headlines. They really are. They get your attention, which is exactly what they're supposed to do. Again, I'm sure they're great people. I just don't like the way they write their headlines. But to be fair, everybody's writing their headlines that way. It is what it is. Google should start a program where you get a discount on Pixel Pass if you post a certain number or more of pics from your Pixel per month. Interesting. Mac, welcome back. Missed last week. Glad you made it today. Stats is lazy AF. That is a fact. He is very lazy. Extremely lazy. But that's okay. We still love him.
Bradley believes me. Bradley wins.
Stop it, Bradley.
Bradley wins the
Don't
comments
even do
for
it.
the night. Wins the comments.
No, Bradley, quit that. What would you even want me to do on TikTok? Like, what would you want to hear from me on TikTok that you couldn't already get on YouTube? And by the way, ain't nobody watching that anyway either.
Well,
so let's just not get it twisted on that.
I have a couple of suggestions.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what this is.
Well, one, you do a really great job of playing pranks and or scaring the Holy Spirit out of your children.
Oh, I scared the piss out of my oldest daughter the other day.
And if you could do it in such a manner that their faces, their likenesses, name, image, and likeness wouldn't show up on TikTok, I think that would be hysterical. Because that's a good demographic. You know, we are elder millennials scaring the crap out of young children.
Let's talk about this comment. Have you guys ever seen The Beer Mile? I feel like something that you guys would film. I am assuming what you're talking about, the
slowest beer
the beer mile, like we chug a beer and do a mile.
Well, no.
You do a lap, a beer, a lap, a beer. Look, I'm gonna tell you
it's
right.
4 beers and 4 laps.
I'm gonna tell you right now, 2 laps.
I can barely do 4 without chugging a beer. So,
oh Lord,
let alone
have
4
mercy.
Beers. I mean, it would make for good content, but
live Ohio State football reaction.
We've actually talked about that.
Parental discretion is advised.
Oh yes, that would
parental
be
discretion.
That would be
is
technically
advised.
speaking after dark.
Singing with Scott. Now, Kathleen is on to something here. Because if you go to my Instagram, I haven't done it in a minute, mostly because when the world shut down, I wasn't in my car. So when I was in my car, I would do singing in the car when I had my Jeep, windows, everything down, just blaring top of the lungs, just belting it out. And
sometimes on key.
most of the time on key. I actually will tell you, I'm a pretty good singer. I got a pipe. Whoa, 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 whoa! Pause. No, if Trent, somebody mark that 16, 15 into the show.
There's your quote of the night.
There's your quote of the night.
Scott has pipe.
Wow.
And now Scott is turning as red as his sweatshirt, ladies and gentlemen.
That's so great. Oh, that's so great. Man, I love that I said that. That's great. I mean,
You're the only one.
Go at that. Sir, pause. Trent's going to come in and get that one. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. What was I going to talk about here real quick? I've had this weird obsession with like really deep, profound shower thoughts. Right?
Love
It
it.
just came up. The syllables in on your mark, get set, go are actually a countdown.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Trent won't miss that, Jason. You're absolutely right. Coffee makes you hyper, but coffee shops are designed for people to chill, whereas alcohol is a depressant, but bars and clubs are designed for people to be energetic.
Because they need the opposite to keep you there.
I don't need you getting scientific on this. I just need you
deep
just
shower thoughts.
I need you not scientific on this.
It's not scientific. This is sociology, which is what you studied.
It is what I studied. I was actually talking to somebody today about that today. They're like, why did you study sociology? I said, well, because I almost failed out of Ohio State and I needed a degree. Like the answer was I needed to finish. Like I had to do something. I couldn't just not do a thing. Like, what was I going to go?
You did a lot of not doing the thing.
But look, there were many nights where nothing was done.
We played a lot
Nothing
of poker.
was done. Look,
Played a
I'm
lot of poker,
going to
watched
tell
a
a
lot of
story. I'm going to tell you
cartoons.
right now a story that is almost 20 years old.
Oh, God.
This story is almost 20 years old, and it involves the two of us.
There's only about 3 dozen of these.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories here. So we're going to go back. I'm going to really, hopefully, like my kids eventually will hear this. They're not hearing it right now, and then like they're going to go back and watch the live show. So when the guy over there, Stats, turned 21, I was not 21. I was not 21. We were both at Ohio State. We were both staying in the dorms. It was a February. I won't say the date, but it was a February. It was cold. But we were in the dorms. There was nothing to do in Columbus, Ohio in February. I don't know if you know this, that Columbus, Ohio, I believe this stat is true. Columbus, Ohio is depressing as shit. I'll have to Google that to validate it, whether that's true or not.
We'll do the research.
It is depressing as shit, especially in February. So it was gray. It was like 11 something in the morning. So what did we do? We drove to the liquor store. He was 21. What do you want me to do? I went with him. He needed someone to carry.
Yeah.
We went to the liquor store.
It's up on North High, Hudson.
We went to the liquor store. Stats, why are you letting this happen? He doesn't have a choice.
And
I can turn off his mic and just do the show myself.
I don't have a problem with this story.
Then we came back because what we got was like a handle of vodka. Well, I mean, we're 20 and 21 years old.
There was also a handle of Jack Daniels.
We're not like the craziest mixologists in the world. So
and we didn't have any money.
What are we going to do? We mixed it with god-awful orange juice. That's exactly what we did. We made the strongest mimosas ever. That's what we did. So we started drinking at noon. I had class that night.
So did I.
I had class that night. I had to attend. And for the record, if my parents are watching, which I don't think they are, but if my parents are watching, I went to class that night.
My parents are definitely watching, and I also went to class that night.
I will speak on behalf of myself. I should not have gone to class that night. I went, but I should not have gone. Like, there is no question about the fact that I should not have gone. Now, again, anybody that's out there, especially if you're watching from work or anything like that, look, this was 20 years ago. I did not drive.
No.
I walked everywhere.
We lived on campus.
We lived on
walked.
campus. We walked. We didn't have cars. That's not what we did. Well, we had cars, but they were on West Campus, and they were miles and miles and miles away. That's what we did. We didn't get any trouble. We didn't do stupid that we're going to talk about on the internet. I went to class that night. Now, that class, for me, was writing fiction.
I was going to say, yours was a writing class.
Writing fiction.
I think mine was a bio lab. Maybe
So
a chem lab.
in this writing fiction class, I don't know if you know this, but if you are just in an alternate state of mind, you can write some cool stuff. So
The problem is reading it the next day.
well, we're going to get to the next day in a second. So we did that. Now, after I got back from class, we went extremely hard in the paint.
We smashed some barbecue.
I don't remember eating anything.
Oh no! My parents sent me a
The Rendezvous. Oh, yeah,
care
yeah,
package
yeah.
from Rendezvous.
Yeah.
And there were 2 1-pound tubs of pulled pork.
Oh God,
We each ate one.
we did?
Yeah,
Great.
yep,
I don't
sure
remember
did.
that. That explains a lot. So we go hard in the paint until like midnight. So it was a good 12 hours of quite a bit of adult beverages.
Do you remember going to the Thirsty Scholar?
Sure don't. Sure don't.
I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm not sure you went because you weren't 21 yet.
Do I remember going to the gas station?
Yep.
Sure don't. Here's what I do remember from the next day. The way that our beds were set up, so Stats lived across the hall. I lived in, I don't even remember, 215 or something like that. And so we lived with another roommate named JD. The way that the beds were set up, I like the air conditioning. So I had a blanket draped over like the window air conditioning all over the bed. And so for me, I was in a cocoon of cold. I went to sleep shortly after midnight. Now I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to follow it up with something else. I missed classes the next day, but I only had one class that I missed. One. And it was a 5:30 p.m. class. Okay? I missed my 5:30 p.m. class the next day because I wasn't awake. At one point, they checked on me to just make sure that I was still there and moving. And I was good.
He was breathing.
I was good. But I missed class. We went so hard in the paint the night before I missed a 5:30 p.m. class. Yes, yes, Kathleen, this is a technology show. And we will bring it back around to it. But we had to bring back some memories from Ohio State.
If we'd all had, I mean, most of us had laptops, some of us had laptops, but if we'd have had remote classes, Scott could have attended class, but the technology just wasn't there yet.
Yeah, I mean, it was early. Look, iPhone didn't exist at the time.
Yeah, I mean,
which is making me very sad that I said that out loud.
This was February of 2003.
Yeah, so. iPhone wasn't a thing. It was not a thing.
No, we still had flip phones.
Oh God, we're old.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord, we're old. Good God. So
we are quite a bit older than Leonardo DiCaprio's next girlfriend.
Wow, brought that full circle.
Sure did.
Wow, Miss Katie Peach came in. She says, I love these old stories. All true. All true. Technology and drinking show.
I mean, I do it every week.
He does do it every week. I don't drink anymore, actually. I do not drink any more. Let's talk about the fact that Twitter brought back a Google Plus thing. On Google Plus, way back in the day, you had circles. Mm-hmm. You could basically group different people, and every message, everything that you would send would actually only go to that specific group. Mm-hmm. It would appear that Twitter is now doing that just in its own little Twitter way. Yeah. So Twitter has introduced Twitter Circle, which means you effectively can do exactly what you could do about 6 years ago on Google+. So 2 things popped up in my mind for this. One, God damn it, I miss Google+. I really miss Google+.
It was ahead of its time.
God, it really was. I really miss Google+. Because I use that thing to death.
Well, Justin, our good friend Justin, who you grew up with and I've come to know, care for, and love over the years, tells this story all the time, and he told it again last weekend, that for the longest time after Justin had been introduced to me, he didn't know my real name, just because, the nickname I have. But one day I friend requested him or plus requested him on Google Plus, and he texted you and said, who the hell is this person, and why are they reaching out to me?
Who the hell is this guy?
And you said, well, that's
Dude,
country.
you know him. That's country. That's who you know who that is. It's like,
So-
oh my God, that's his name?
Right.
For the longest time, true story, and my wife upstairs did not know his name was Andrew. Didn't know. By the way, my wife just texted me. The last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State, October 31st, 1936.
Yeah,
That year, FDR was president.
sure was.
Jesse Owens won 4 Olympic gold medals.
Also an Ohio State boy.
Also true. King Edward the
Read the Roman numerals.
VIII.
8.
Thank you. I don't do Roman numerals. Abdicated to marry Wallace Simpson.
Who was a divorced American heiress. That's why he had to abdicate.
The Hindenburg had its
Crashed.
first public flight.
Okay.
The Spanish Civil War begun.
Gan.
Whatever. And Gone with the Wind was published.
Yeah.
1936. 1936.
And I think
Notre Dame sucks.
since then we've only played 4 times, 2 regular season and 2 postseason, but we've still won them all.
That's
and
correct.
We are going to absolutely dominate
Ohio
this
State by
Saturday.
100. Ohio State by 100.
50. Arkansas State 100.
Whatever. Ohio State by 100. But yeah, Twitter circles is now a thing. Now, what I did not realize, and I don't do this, so I would be interested to know for the folks that are watching, are you on Twitter? My guess is you probably are. If you are on Twitter,
I mean, we know T lurks.
we know T lurks. My question is do you basically
you do lists?
you groom your timeline into different lists, different communities, different circles, different whatever? Do you groom your lists and keep a nice clean timeline, or are you crazy like me and you just have one timeline?
Hot Mess Express.
I have one timeline. That's it. Tweets come in. I scroll. I respond. I move on. I don't have groups. Like, I don't do keywords. I don't do communities. I don't do lists. I don't do any of that. I'm not going to do circles either, mostly because that's just way too much work.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to mindlessly scroll on Twitter because that's what I'm going to do. Or I can just search for, whatever a keyword is going on, like OSU, Ohio State Buckeyes, whatever it is. Twitter is also my favorite social media. I agree with you. There's no question the fact that Twitter, for me, I love Twitter. It is a hot mess. I cannot believe that app is free.
Yeah.
I cannot believe some of the things that I read on Twitter. And this is a free app.
Well, and some of
Unbelievable.
some of the rabbit holes you go down to.
Oh, my Lord, have mercy.
Some of the threads and topics that people will get into, and the fact that, and we'll get back to the lists here in a second, or circles, but the fact that someone using 240 characters over a dozen, 100 tweets in a row, not only that they take the time to do that and thread them together appropriately, they can tell a compelling story or provide you with vital information in that short form content is a phenomenal thing that we get to experience. Now, the rest of it is absolutely a Hot Mess Express, but that kind of stuff makes the Hot Mess Express worth it to me.
So Twitter is the favorite. Bradley says one timeline. I just read and comment mostly from Ma. Of course, I'm on Twitter. I do have 2 lists to avoid the nonsense. Michael Pepper says I have mine set to default, so only people I follow can reply.
Right.
I can't believe this app is free. What I say about TikTok. Look, amen to that. Amen to that. Like, I cannot believe that some of these apps are free. Now, when we say free is relative.
Right.
You're selling your data. TikTok is sucking up the data. They're beefing their algorithm. They're making money on your data. Look, all social media.
They're making money off of our eyeballs.
All social media is making money from us. If we're not paying for it, we're the product. Yes, that's a thing. They are making money off of us one way or another. The thing is it is so entertaining in some days that I just cannot possibly believe I did not have to pay a transaction for the thing.
Right.
it amazes me. Like I will get into like a straight up rabbit hole for TikTok or Twitter, and I will just read and read and read and read. It is unbelievable. Whew. That's unbelievable. Stats, I'm not that young. Love that, but I'm not much younger than Scott. Don't know about you. Fun fact, Stats is older than me.
By like 6 months.
Doesn't matter. It's still older. That is still older. Yep. Stats is an old B.
I'm 40. I'm okay with it.
Just putting it out there. I'm not 40 yet.
You will be.
Look, hey, I'm just telling you. I'm not. That's just what it is.
5.5 weeks, folks.
God, is it really 5.5 weeks?
Well, tomorrow's
really true?
the 1st of September.
Oh my God, it really is.
So yeah, we are less than that. We are 35 days away from your birthday, 36 days away from your birthday.
Ooh, what are you buying me?
I actually already have it picked out. It's hysterical. I haven't bought it yet, but it's hysterical.
Okay, whatever.
It's something you've actually wanted for several years. I just keep forgetting to buy it for you.
Really?
Yes.
I have no idea what it is.
I know it's going to be great.
No clue what it is. Now, for the record, we did get you something very nice on your 40th. You had better believe you don't even freaking remember, do you? You don't even freaking remember, do you? I cannot believe you don't remember.
I mean, you got me the bouquet.
No, there was 3 of us that got you something. We went in on it together.
That's right.
You big idiot.
I did wear it.
You evidently we got him a watch.
Yes.
Like our golf foursome.
I don't wear it every single day.
You don't wear it at all. I've never seen you wear it.
I wore it to the first couple of shows after you got it for me.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
That's a lie.
Go back and watch.
I'm not going to go back and watch our live shows. I barely want to actually be the one that we're on right now.
Well, I actually thought about wearing it tonight. I don't know why I didn't. But yes, I have it.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying that Stats was in middle school when Notre Dame last beat Ohio State? It's true.
You know, somebody was in middle school.
Mm-hmm. Genosis said
36. That would have been.
Genosis. It's still in the wrapping downstairs in the basement. Yep, it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If Twitter made a messaging app like WhatsApp, would you prefer? Okay. Would you prefer the Twitter-owned version? Interesting.
See, I'm gonna have to plead ignorance here. I know what WhatsApp is.
You're not gonna do this right now.
I've never used it.
I've never used it.
I've never had a need to use it. Let's put it that way.
You have never had a need to use WhatsApp, the largest messaging platform in the world.
Everybody I talk to on this planet exists in this country. Except for Ben.
So Ben would actually
I talked to Ben through Twitter. So
okay, I mean that's fair, I guess. But WhatsApp. So I use WhatsApp to talk to some of the folks in India,
right?
Specifically. So, wow, you've never used WhatsApp.
I've used Signal.
I use Signal.
We used Telegram for a minute. Way back
I mean,
in the
so
day.
we use Telegram too.
But it's Google Messages, it's iMessage, it's social media.
That's interesting.
I just don't have a need. I don't have anybody on that side of the world talking.
Kathleen straight up said, "Dead. Get out. Bye, boy. Bye.
Bite me,
boy. Bye." Wow. I mean, I'm really surprised that
I will only accept genuinely surprised.
Man, Shelly never used it either. Genosis has never used it.
Thanks,
WhatsApp
Shelley.
is the biggest thing outside of the U.S. I agree. So it's Stats is a watchman. Yeah, he is a watchman.
I got 3 in the regular rotation. I've got 1 I'm going to inherit from my dad. Came from my mom's dad, so that one's special, but he's using it right now.
So I currently, right now, have the following messaging.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Pixel Watch.
No, I don't have a Pixel Watch. I have a what is this? This is a TicWatch Pro. That's what I got.
So that is, I'll let you get to your messaging in a second. That is another one of the very many differences between Scott and I. He's a smartwatch guy. I tried smartwatches a while ago. Could never really get into it.
You just don't want to be hyper connected. That's why.
But I also prefer the analog style of traditional watches.
So I use Signal, Duo, which then switched to Meet. Can we also talk about that? Google, get it together. What are you doing?
It's now become part and parcel of what Google is.
What are you doing?
They cannot leave well enough alone.
It was Duo and then Meet, and then we're like, hey, JK, we're gonna make them both Meet, and then we're gonna be like, oh, JK, again, we're gonna flip it back to Duo because it's too confusing for Meet. Of course, it was too confusing. Why did you even make the choice to do that?
Oh, and you're now going to access it through your email.
What are you doing? Duo was fine. Just leave Duo. Leave it alone.
Allo and Hangouts were fine too.
Well, Hangouts got bloated. That was the problem. They tried to shove too much into Hangouts.
What do you think Meet was going to become when they threw Messages and Duo and Gmail in there?
It's like I don't know what you guys know. I love Google. You guys know this. You know this. I am unapologetically a Google fanboy, but my God, their messaging is a freaking disaster. And they are doing themselves no favors at all when they're like, you know what's a great idea? Let's rename Duo to Meet. And
That's
somebody behind them is going
anybody.
like, you know, that is a great idea. We should totally do that thing. Let's not talk to the fact that the other team over there has a freaking application that's called Meet. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Just stop it. Just stop. Look, just do. I don't need you to create iMessage. I don't need you to do that. You're not going to do that. Harmless Carl, thank you so much for the super chat. I am not in Georgia, but I will shake my moneymaker. Whatever I gotta do, shake my moneymaker. But what are you doing, Google? Like, I remember vividly a week ago, the Duo app switched to Meet. It was like Meet, formerly Duo, in parentheses, and then Meet, original Meet, was like flipped. And it's like, whoa, what are you, what's happening right here? And then all of a sudden, well, it's going to be Meet, but it's not going to be Meet. Guys, simplify. You gotta simplify. You have a good thing going with Duo. You got a good thing going with Meet. It's very easy. Duo is like FaceTime. Meet is like Zoom. That's it. That's all you have to do. You use Google or you use Duo on your mobile. You use Meet on your laptop.
Absolutely. That's
it. Make it simple. Do the thing. But why are you doing it? There you go. Scoop just said it. They continue to make things difficult for no reason. Shelly, I am sure that there are reasons. I'm willing to bet that there are reasons. But for me, the way I'm looking at it is just like, it's so confusing as a consumer for that. That was them simplifying. I agree. Like, if that was them simplifying, holy moly, I was so confused by that.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it a simplification.
So confused by that. It was like, I just didn't get it. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand the logic behind it. Maybe that's because I just want to know the logic behind it.
It's probably because there is no logic behind it.
No, there has to be logic behind it. You would just never do that without
massive organization of tens of thousands of people trying to be on the bleeding edge and come up with the next big thing. And it's probably a lot of dysfunction in that different teams that are working on different projects aren't talking to each other. So,
see, there you go. Pixelated. Someone who worked. Oh, well, Jesus Christ. I mean,
I haven't even gotten to that comment yet.
As someone who worked on Google Meet or Duo Meet, just saying, well, hi.
Would you like to join the show?
I'm a giant asshole. Let me just go ahead and put my foot right directly in my mouth.
Do you have the stream key? Get them on the show.
Well, I mean, I can. I haven't configured the screen to look like that, but I mean, I could do just about whatever it is. But wow. Consumers, B. Floyd, what's it say here? Consumers don't know anything about meeting. It would have been smarter going Duo to Meet and not Meet to Duo. Too many consumers were already set up for Duo.
Yeah. Don't disagree. Okay.
But But we all agree that Google's messaging is a mess, right? Like, it's a mess. Like, I personally would make it just what I just described. I would use Duo on my mobile. I would use Meet on my laptop. I would use Android Messages or Google Messages, whatever we're calling it now. So it's Google Messages as my text messaging platform.
Yeah.
At RCS enabled, call it a day. Mm-hmm. And I'm done. That's all I want to use.
And I think that logic works well. We just need to hear that from someone at Google and say, we're not going to mess with it for 5 years.
Well, I mean, you got to do something to make it better.
They can improve it, but we're not going to change the names for 5 years.
Yeah, changing the names was a little bit weird. I think that was kind of strange. That was a little bit weird. Well, I mean, now I feel like a big ass. I mean, I am a big ass, but...
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I took that out of you. You know what? Forget you, pal.
You stole that.
I did. I took it away from you, you jerk. You big jerk. There's no logic behind YouTube Music. Are you saying there's no logic behind getting rid of Google Music for YouTube Music?
So I actually did want to speak to that because I use YouTube Music every single day. The only difference I noticed when they first changed the name was just that. They changed the name. That's all they did. Now, I don't know, when did they change that? A year and a half ago? 2 years ago? To Google Music, to YouTube Music?
So Google Music lived on for several years longer than I thought it was going to go on when YouTube Music... I'll be honest, I didn't mind switching to YouTube Music.
No.
Didn't mind at all.
Because I think that was one of the best transitions they've ever made, because at first they just renamed it. Mm-hmm. The UI was the same, the search was the same, everything. Now they have integrated some more of the YouTube-esque things to where if you search for a song, it'll give you just play the song with the lyrics, or play the song with the music video if there is a music video. So I really do enjoy that. And
that's a good point from
it's
Floyd.
gotten a little bit better.
Dual licenses for Google Music and YouTube Music. They had to consolidate it. That absolutely makes a ton of sense from
RCMA
a licensing
stuff,
from a licensing monetary perspective. It made I didn't mind the switch from Google Music. I loved Google Music. It was great. YouTube Music also great. I use so many different music platforms though. So I don't care. I've used I switch back and forth between YouTube Music and Apple Music. I just do. I use both of those. I've also used Tidal. It depends on what I'm going for. I find that most people are like Apple Music, and then there's Spotify. Obviously, my daughter uses Spotify. Most people are like, Spotify just knows me. Its algorithm is so good. It gets all the music that I ever want to do. Look, the algorithms on all of the things that I just described, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify, and Tidal, I find Tidal's algorithm a little bit less than the other three. But the three that I just listed off, YouTube Music, Apple Music, and Spotify, their algorithms are just fine. Don't sell me on the fact that Spotify just gets me, man. It's just, I just understand that Spotify nails it better for me. No, it doesn't. The algorithm is very good on the three that I just listed.
Well, and at the end of the day, what we talked about with, with Twitter and TikTok, they're using your data, which you are giving to them for free without any recompense, to make their algorithm better and keep you attached to their particular ecosystem.
Now, B. Floyd brings up another great point. B. Floyd's coming in with some, coming in with some good points. I just wish Google would let YouTube handle all media, TV, music, movies, videos, podcasts, all of it. All that media, let YouTube handle it. 100% agree. 100% agree. I agree with your daughter. Spotify just knows me, but you could totally let the other ones know you too. Thing is, you've just probably built a really, really, really good data model with your preferences in Spotify.
Or you just listen to the same 10 songs over and over and over again.
Now I do that. I'm very guilty of that. I see. Now, I just don't like that YouTube Music isn't as fleshed out as other services like Spotify. Like what?
Yeah, give us concrete examples.
What is that? What does it not have that you wish it did? Spotify likes to give me an entirely different song when I click on a specific song title. Michael Pepper, that's not good.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And so I see a couple folks talk about Amazon Music. Now, to be fair, then I don't use Amazon Music.
Nope. They keep trying to give me like a year free, and I'm just like, nope, cancel, decline.
But to be fair, here's what I will do. If I'm sure I'll look back at my emails, or if somebody has like a code that gives me like 3 or 4 months for free, I'll try Amazon Music. I have not tried Amazon Music. To be fair, haven't tried it, but I will give it a try for the sake of science. Hold on, let me go back to hold on. Kathleen says something about take my data. Hold on a minute. If people don't know they are the product at this point, I can't help them. Take my data. It's fine. Take it all.
Yes, Kathleen.
Yes, gotcha. Totally.
I've made that comment on this show and to other people in and out of the tech community. I have made my peace with Google having all of my data. I do everything that I can in the Google ecosystem, and I'm okay with it, because staying within that ecosystem and allowing them the majority of access to almost all of my data gives me a better experience. And that is the trade-off I'm willing to make in today's day and age.
Interesting. Going to be Floyd. Last wish, I wish Google just let the Gmail team handle messaging, email, conferencing. Google just needs to focus on search and ads, period. Not 100% in agreement with you there. There's some things that Google does. Like, I think Google Cloud is actually pretty decent now. It's not AWS. Look, it's not AWS, and it's not Microsoft either. But the point is, it's no slouch. It is AWS, Microsoft, and then Google Cloud as the cloud providers. No question about that. I think Google Cloud does really, really well. So I wouldn't want them to give up on that. I think that they do search extremely well. They do ads extremely well. They do Gmail extremely well. They do Drive really well. Now, I know people talk a lot about Dropbox. They're like, yeah, I really like to use Dropbox more than I like to use Drive because of, file size constraints and things like that. And this is completely irrational, what I'm going to say. It is irrational. I have a tremendous amount of disdain for Dropbox. And it's not their fault. It's my fault. But I still have disdain for them because of it being my fault. So here's the thing. I have a Dropbox account.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2-factor authentication turned on, as any other human should be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As any other human should be. But the problem is I did not have the keys that refresh. I had it on an old device that I've subsequently lost. So I can't get access to my Dropbox account. And I said, look, that's fine. Just nuke it.
Yeah.
Nuke it from orbit, completely kill it, and let me sign back up with my same email after you kill it. Just kill the account. I've literally worked with their customer service. They're like, we can't. And I was like, what do you mean you can't? They're like, we can't nuke that. I go, I can literally provide you the things you need in order to prove that is mine. They're like, I need you to sign up for another Dropbox account and then email us with access to that Dropbox account. Like, there was this whole list of things that they asked me to do, and I'm just not going to do it. Yeah. So I flat out was like, I'm not going to use Dropbox because of that.
So for anybody who's looking for blackmail on Scott, if you can break into that old Dropbox account, you're going to have all of his middle and high school band videos.
I don't actually know what's on my Dropbox account, to be completely fair. The entire business suite, Google Workspace, is crap, though. Microsoft 365 eats Google Workspaces for lunch. To be fair, Microsoft's been doing it a lot longer
than Google has.
A lot longer. But I will say, you want to know where Google really does well in education.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolutely slaughters in education.
Chromebooks.
Like Chromebooks, hugely big deal. And if you don't use Chromebooks, you still use Google for your school account. Most of the time, kids still, even if they're not using Google hardware with oh my God, I just spaced out there for a second. The Chromebook. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me? Like, even if they're not using Chromebook, they're still using Google apps on an iPad. That whole space, I think Google is very, very good at. They are very, very good in that space. So like a physical Google Drive would be cool. I think Google has a lot of good things going for it. It really does. They're building up a tremendous ecosystem with a lot of different exactly. B. Floyd says Google destroys all of the platforms in education. There's no question about that. They are so far in like elementary school education. These kids are coming out with Google accounts. I got to give Google a ton of props because I used to give them a whole bunch of shit because I had to create my kids' Gmail accounts where they weren't 13 because I wanted them to have a very specific email address. Google made it seamless for me to transfer that over into a family link system to where I can monitor everything. So when my kids are on their own specific, either iPhones or iPads or whatever, they are on their accounts locked down to the things that I need specifically to their everything Google related, music, YouTube, all of that, all down into one. I can control that. Now, Apple does a really good job of that too. So I'm really glad that those companies are doing a good job of that, personally.
Yeah, it's always, I think whatever ecosystem you choose to participate in, or multiples, what these technology providers need to do and continue to do for those who do it well is to provide that ultimate level of customer service. Because at the end of the day, that's what they are concerned about with the most, is keeping the maximum number of consumers, providing the maximum amount of data to their systems for the maximum amount of time. So the fact that you were an early adopter of the Android and Google ecosystems, and they have made it easy enough, compatible enough, and lucrative enough, or least costly enough for you to stay in that ecosystem for the last 15 years, that is good for them. So I think their inroads into the education system, their inroads into the messaging platforms, which they continually are trying to do, and the cloud space and the workspace and things like that, they're just trying to build as broad a net as they can to capture as many eyeballs and hands and data as they can.
Super interesting. Jason says, my kids' school are all in on Microsoft, nothing Google related. That is super interesting. My kids are all on, everybody that I am aware of in Ohio are all on Google. Not a single one that I know is on Microsoft. Now, that's not to say like in my small sphere, it's like, it's only Google. It's like most of the stuff here in Central Ohio is nothing but Google.
Yeah.
Like it is like, I don't know anybody in Central Ohio that's on Microsoft. I don't know anybody in Ohio that's on Microsoft. Not to say that it's not there, but yeah.
Just all of us poor schlubs who work.
Right.
We're held captive by Office.
So, I mean, it could be regional based, I suppose, but Google's got the education really, really well. I have not seen Microsoft education licensing, to be fair. I would envision, if I had to take a wild guess, I would envision that Google is potentially better priced than Microsoft, but that's complete conjecture.
Yeah,
I couldn't even say that that is a fair, I don't even know if that's a fair statement. That's probably not even a fair statement. I'm just a giant a-hole for that. I actually really I know B. Floyd said it's too restrictive from a family link perspective. I actually really like the family link. I have really enjoyed it. Office is a great software suite. It really is. Like, I have Microsoft. Here's the thing. I actually own a license for Microsoft Office. Like 365, I own it. I use it obviously for work. I have it on this machine right now. To be fair, and we can share the show notes. They're crap, but we don't do show notes in Microsoft. We do show notes in Drive or like Docs.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, like 95% of corporate America.
But let's not. So hang on. Like you're right, 95% of corporate America. But let's not get it twisted. The greatest program that was ever created in the history of ever, is Microsoft Excel. It's not. I mean, it's not even close. It's Microsoft Excel,
Right.
all day long.
Yeah.
That is the greatest program ever created in the history of programs. Microsoft Excel.
Mm-hmm.
It is the singular program that is keeping the United States financial system afloat. You think I'm kidding? I am not. Excel is overwhelmingly used in the financial institutions of America.
Mm-hmm.
We are mere minuscule keystrokes away from complete financial overthrow.
So what you're saying is the protagonists in Fight Club, all they really needed to do was break into the internet and delete Microsoft Excel from existence, and they didn't have to blow up all those buildings.
Yeah. Excel is the thing that keeps the financial institutions afloat. Hands down, bar none.
Financial institutions, businesses.
I love Microsoft Excel.
You used to be a Microsoft Excel wizard.
Just wizard. They actually have Microsoft Excel e-gaming.
What?
Yes, it's a thing. It is 100% a thing.
How do you play a game in Microsoft
You don't.
Excel?
It's not a game. It's about how good you are in doing Excel.
I have
but
heard
it's
of
like
that. Okay,
gaming.
all right. I thought
it is unbelievable.
I watch
it.
Somebody
I
wrote
watch
a
it.
program to play a game.
No.
Okay.
I watch it.
No,
like
I
how
have
good
heard of that.
How good they are with Excel. It's phenomenal.
The Excel Olympics.
It is unbelievable to watch. They are so good. So good. It's crazy. Let's see. Miss Shelley says Apple Work Suite and Google have been what I've used. I have not worked with the Apple Work Suite. I can't say that I have. Lotus 123. Lotus garbage. Garbage. They don't charge as much as Microsoft. That's why Google EDU is probably fairly cheap since doc sheets are already free. Right. So they're only selling the school domains for the email, etc. Michigan schools, at least from what I've seen, nieces and nephews have all switched over to iPads. The accidental damage protection and ability to easily monitor recent changes. Our infrastructure is running on Windows 98 a lot in areas. Hospital equipment, trains, subways, factories. Bingo. And Excel is the thing that keeps the financial institutions afloat. I know this very well. If you go to Goldman Sachs, by the way, Goldman Sachs, come on. So I have studied a lot of the 2008 financial crisis. I don't know why.
Might have said he went down a rabbit hole.
I did go down a rabbit hole for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks on end. Rather than making YouTube videos, I went down to basically how the U.S. Financial institutions all came completely imploding down upon themselves under the guise of just making money. That is exactly why they did it. It is a phenomenal, unbelievable bit of research. If you get a chance to read about why 2008 financial crisis actually happened, let me give you a little spoiler alert here. It had everything to do with everybody was making a piss load of money and they didn't want to stop making money. Yeah. And a lot of that was done in Excel. True story. Anywho, we are at an hour and I'm going to cut it off at an hour. One thing to say before we go, Notre Dame sucks. Ohio State by 150.
I'm okay with it.
Stats. Where can they find you?
Helix Island on the tweet machine. I do use lists. I will not be using circles because, like Scott said, that's too much work.
Yep.
Expect a lot of Buckeye content, replies, retweets, things like that over the coming 14, 15 weeks.
Yep.
And then Country Smith on the Instagram for cooking videos and random social media stupidness.
Yeah, you can find me at Scott Peachy on Twitter. That's the one I'm going to use the most. Going to interact with you the most there. At Scott Peachy on Instagram. I don't really do much with Instagram, to be honest.
He's going to start singing again.
I really should start singing. I really should.
I don't know if you've posted a singing video in the new car.
I haven't.
Almost
because
all of them were in the
I
old
haven't.
car.
I haven't really been in. I haven't had a need,
we need
to be
see
in
what
it.
the acoustics are in the new car.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I need a song though. Like I need something good.
I mean, last week's song would be pretty good.
It's a raining man. Hallelujah. It's a raining man.
See what I have to deal with, folks.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, have a great week. Ohio State by 150, and that's all I got.
Yep.
All right, good. I'll be good. Be good at it. We'll see you next week. We will be back next week. Stats is not on vacation, but he probably will be on vacation because that's what he does. So, all right, y'all. Be good. Be good at it. We'll see you next week.